Hello, my name is Adrian Estala. I'm the field CTO here at Starburst. What a great session we've had so far. You heard Justin and Murley, the head of data analytics at Citi, talk about the overall state of AI in the marketplace. You heard from a co-founder, Matt, and Emma, talk about the Starburst AI agent. Now we're going to bring all that together. If you understand what you could do with a Starburst agent that's built in, imagine what you could do with other agents around your organization using that same data delivery framework and governance that you get in Starburst. How can your agents use Starburst? How can you build an agentic workflow with those agents? I'm excited to bring Anna onto the stage. Anna is the CTO of Annalect, and she's really running in the AI space. Welcome, Anna. I'm excited to start the conversation. What do you say? You ready to go?
Ready to go.
Awesome. Anna, let's start with strategy. I have a story about how the agentic strategy comes to life. It's really about where we start, how we get there fast, and then how we sustain it over a longer term. What are your thoughts? How are you driving your agentic strategy in your organization?
The way Annalect approaches agentic strategy is to stay modular as so many frameworks are coming to market. You and I had a conversation in January, and it feels like it's been 3 years ago because so many new tools and so many new protocols are hitting the market, and so many smart people are working at the new ways of construct agents, package agent, and allow for inter-agent operability. So the way we approach building our framework is we want to make sure that we're ready for all the new tech that is coming to market. Google just announced A2A protocol. MCP was released earlier in the spring. So we want to make sure that we adopt the best of the frameworks while at the same time not doing the nuclear rewrites every single time. So modularity is probably our tagline.
Everyone's looking for the blueprint. Like, tell me how to get there fast. The answer right now is about trying to find a way to test as many things as fast as possible. I have AI solutions everywhere. How do I build these projects and fail fast without a lot of investment so that I can find the ones that are going to work? I love modularity because there are parts of that solution that I need to be able to reuse. If I'm reinventing that data pipeline for every AI solution, I'm never going to get there. If I can find a way to create a data platform and then make that available to any AI solution in the front, I've got data, I've got governance, and I've got the ability to drive not just a single agent, but multiple agents, and to enable those multiple agents to talk to each other. That modularity, I think, is absolutely key to the strategy.
I think that the biggest challenge is that as people want to get access and also build agents and interact with agents, I think the first thing that they're asking if their agent can be granted access to specific data sets. And this kind of expand also on the so many things change and some things have to stay the same. For example, our data strategy in general has to adjust, but at the same time, the foundational core is very much of what we have been implementing over the years. So our biggest challenge right now is how do we provision data sets? Because up until this year, probably most of our stakeholders who required access to the data sets were mostly human. And now we are required to provision the same access, but now in a scaled way to a fleet, to the army of agents, and do it very fast and do it in a governed way. Our response in the past was we've adopted data meshes strategy in 2021. We have a pretty robust data governance framework where we've relied heavily on Starburst to permission access in a proper and governed way to our data consumers. Now we're facing that beyond humans data consumers, we have a fleet of artificially intelligent data consumers, and who all of them need to be provisioned access. This access needs to be monitored, logged, and we need to make sure that our system can function also in a stable way. We don't want agents just slamming on the databases with their SQL queries. As of today, as May 2025, that's probably one of the biggest challenge that we're facing in terms of adjusting our existing data strategy and ensure that it scales at this point very fast to accommodate for this autonomous entities that are trying to aid our users in the decision making and sometimes doing the automated decision making on their behalf.
I want to pick up 2 points. The first one is really around the point that we have to work with what we have. To work with what we have means that oftentimes the data models that I've invested a lot of money into building in my current data warehouses, although I'd love to be able to say, I'm going to pick them up and toss them into an AI, yeah, not really, right? The agent needs to see the data differently. It needs to see more data, and I need to understand the data, right? I need a data product. I need to package that data in a way that the AI agent and a person could understand. We're at a point right now where it's really important for us to make sure that the agent can understand the data and the person can understand how to use the agent. And so a data product is something that both those entities can understand. That's a really key part, kind of giving you the blueprint, right? That's kind of a secret sauce, so to speak, in how to accelerate some of this. The access part, gosh, now we're talking governance. I have to sit in front of an AI governance board and explain to them, it's hard enough to explain what the ML engine is doing. And Anna, you can do it. I can't. And so you sit back and say, well, what can I explain? Well, I can explain how the data got in. I'm using a data product. I've only exposed that. I can explain who can see the data because I've got rules built into it. And I think these key elements are really the pieces that kind of bring it all together. And so access management is definitely a challenge, 100%. What's another challenge?
I'm so happy that you're going the data products route because I think that in the general sentiment where people are asking to grant an agent access to the data set, what they mean is I want you to grant access to a very high quality, refined data product that has SLA associated with it, that has been double checked for the quality, and that is structured in a particular way. I think that you're trying to take our discussion to the data ingestion part, but no one is asking to provision very dirty ingested data that hasn't been QA'd, that has very cryptic column names to an agent, because very few humans, unless you're an SME, understand what this data is all about and or even can very quickly evaluate, especially if a data set is large, what is the quality of the data set. So I'm happy that you're calling out data products because they're the key for the interactions, because every single time, as you pointed out, we need to provide the metadata, where the data originated, who is the owner, what was the freshness, did anybody modified it, was it combined with other data sets in order to create this final product, and if there are also QA rules that have been applied on top, who's guaranteeing that this data is accurate and can be trusted. Because let me put it this way, some people are using LLMs to create also synthetic data. Creation of the fake data sets is very easy right now. It has never been easier. You write a prompt of give me a sample data set of 100 rows of customer data with columns on revenue, and here you go. There is a data set generated for you. Who is guaranteeing this ownership? Who is guaranteeing the correctness of the data set? Where did it originate? So I'm so happy that you're pointing out that the crux of the problem is the creation of the high quality data products, and that hasn't changed. It's just accelerated with the demand for the agents, because 2 years ago, even before the agentic frameworks, people still wanted to have clean, accurate data that they can trust to make decisions. They mostly use those data sets in the dashboards. Now they want to use it with the agents, but it still doesn't relieve us from the responsibility of delivering high quality data sets to the data consumers.
How do we bring the right data to the right people without exposing risks? But let's talk use cases. On that. You and I, whenever we talk, it's not exciting about what we're doing today. It's always exciting to talk about what we're going to be doing in 3 months, because you move really, really fast. If you could give us a hint as to kind of some of your favorite use cases and maybe where you think they'll be in 3 months, that'd be fantastic.
Thank you for the compliment. We're just trying to keep up with what everybody else is doing. It feels like the time is accelerating these days. The work that Annalect does is helping our agencies and their clients to send the right message at the right time. So in the center of a lot of things that we do are how well our agencies are creating audiences so the right message can reach people at the right time. Up until recently, for us to work with different audiences that are provided by different platforms, we needed to have a very high match rate. That means that if working on a specific data set where there is anonymized user data, I need to have the exact ID in order to match audience in my environment with, let's say, an environment of my media partner or the environment of my client. The match rates have been historically extremely low, and it's always been a concern and a big challenge point to do really cool and interesting work in the marketing ecosystem. What we're releasing recently is the audience fusion agent to provide it to everybody context to just appreciate the what the agent is doing. Is those data sets have a lot of attributes. So, for example, my data set has an attribute that is called automotive ownership and provides details on which cars people own. And the data set of my media partner has attribute that is called cars and can provide similar information but just named differently. So in the past, there was no way for us to match it. And no matter how sophisticated is my SQL, I couldn't match those two data sets when they didn't have an ID. The audience fusion agent has this linguistic ability to merge the attributes that are called differently but mean similar things. So we're applying lots of interesting logic on top of LLMs. And then for the first time, we are now able to match the data sets not only just on IDs and do the joins, but also match them on this fuzzy attribute logic that allows us to really accelerate our work with both our clients and the media partners as we plan for the right message at the right time to the right audience. So that's probably the most exciting agent that I'm personally excited about.
You're doing something you couldn't do before.
Was not possible before. Yes, and now it's possible. So that's how big of a differentiation integrating LLMs into software development is becoming for us.
What does that do for the organization? Does that get other people to say, I want to build an agent, I want to build an agent, everyone builds an agent? How do you handle that demand?
We definitely want to encourage the agent construction across our organization because lots of smart people have wonderful ideas. And for me personally, and for my technology team, the challenge is to grant access to those tools to people to do it in a proper and governed way. And this is coming full circle of what you started mentioning about data governance. As people are constructing the agents, that's not the difficult part. As they start building agents, their first request is, well, how can I grant access to these data sets that I have, whether it's on my local SharePoint drive or whether it's in some of our data warehouses or data lakes or it's all stored in the iceberg format in some S3 buckets. And this is what we're trying to solve through the governance layer as how do we empower people to construct the agents and build on top of their ideas, but at the same time, where I can provide a very rigorous logging on how the data is used, which systems have access to it, were none of the legal terms violated. Let's say if some of our clients' data have not been permissioned for this kind of usage, how can we guarantee that? So to do this, the basics of the data access, data permissioning, data authorization still stay relevant. So that's probably the challenge. And as we want to encourage our internal community, our organization to build more agents, I'm hoping that we can solve it pretty fast.
What a great session with Anna. Thank you, Anna, for that incredible discussion on AI agents. What a great day. We're not just getting started, we're running. We want you to run with us. Thank you all for joining us.